Hey, what's up? Alex here. After I started my own smart home consulting business, I spoke to many homeowners and I want to share with you guys something very interesting. Initially, I thought that most of the people will go with a Wi-Fi mesh system. It's like the easiest and most straightforward, right? Very consumer friendly. But I really did not expect like 70 to 80% of the people actually prefer to go with AP access points. Generally, I don't recommend those standalone gaming routers, or some like to do those funny way of converting an old router into an AP, or doing some form of mesh using AI. And of course, telco OEM branded ones with custom firmware. All these I don't recommend. For home network setup, I only recommend these two solutions. Either you go with a proper mesh system or you go with AP, be it ceiling AP or wall AP. For each type of solution, I always have my recommended option and a budget option, expensive versus cheap. For mesh Wi-Fi, I will recommend to go with the Eero Max 7 if you can afford it. For the budget option will be the Netgear Orbi 770. For AP, of course, it's going to be Ubiquiti if you are willing to pay for it. Then for the cheaper option, I've been looking around for quite some time. Just nice, one day, a company called Ruijie Network reached out to me. Ruijie is from China and I actually know about this company very long ago. For those who don't know my background, I worked in the IT industry for close to 20 years. First half of my career, I was doing hardware infra. Then the second half, I switched to software. In the enterprise IT world, people always like to use Gartner Magic Quadrant to have a gauge on how good is a company's product offering. There are many different Magic Quadrants for different aspects of IT. So in the world of networking, Reyee is actually placed in the quadrant in 2020, the final year before Gartner decided to shift this to only enterprise. You can see Reyee is actually ranked higher than Ubiquiti and also some other brands that you might be familiar with like TP-Link and D-Link. This means that Reyee solutions and products have a certain level of credibility, so I decided to research more about their products. But first, let's do a price comparison because ultimately the price must make sense before we go more in depth. To compare the price, let's always take the total cost for a 3-pack mesh or 3 AP to compare. For Netgear Orbi 770, the price for a 3-pack is 990 SGD. For Amazon Eero Max 7, the price is 2050 SGD. For Reyee AP solution, I will propose the EG406. This is your router, gateway, and also PoE switch all in one. For AP, I will go with the RAP72. This is a wall AP, Wi-Fi 7 with a 2.5G uplink. Price of the gateway, PoE switch, and 3 of these AP, total cost is around 1K SGD. This amount is just slightly more than my budget pick for Wi-Fi mesh. So if you're curious roughly how much the equivalent for Unify will cost, first I'll put in a Unify gateway, that's 440 SGD. Then we need to get a separate 2.5G PoE switch. That will be the Flex 2.5G PoE, 310 SGD. The power adapter is sold separately, that's another 120 SGD. For the AP, the comparable model is U7 in wall, and that costs 230 SGD each. Total cost for the entire Unify stack is around 1.5K SGD. So Reyee is about 40 to 50% cheaper. Pricing wise, I would say definitely makes sense. Then now let's talk about why you should consider this AP solution over the others. Number 1, if you don't have a false ceiling, then you definitely cannot install a ceiling AP. Even you have a false ceiling, you need to pay for an electrician to pull wiring over. You might also need to cut open a false ceiling, so it can be potentially a lot of work. Versus going with a wall AP where you already have existing data socket points. Installation, I will consider easy because you don't even need to do any drilling because the bracket will fit nicely with the standard size of the cutout. Simply remove the existing data socket point, detach away the socket frame. Here is the part where it's up to you whether you want to remove this. Electricians call this the 水晶头. If you know how to do crimping, you can go ahead to do that. If not, you can always get such 10cm Ethernet cable, plug in one end to this, and then the other will go to the back of the wall AP. Lastly, simply slide down the AP from the top until you hear the catch sound. Number 2, if you care about aesthetics, I would say this is the cleanest look you can ever get. With mesh Wi-Fi, they are usually very bulky looking, especially the Wi-Fi 7 models. You need to look somewhere to place it. Regardless where you place your mesh node, you are bound to have a power cable with bulky adapters. That's one cable here. And most likely you're going to have a network cable from a socket to the node if you're running a wired backhaul. Even for ceiling AP, you also need to consider whether the placement of the AP will spoil the looks of the house, especially if you have some lighting design on the ceiling that you are trying to achieve. The placement of a ceiling AP is not just about giving it the maximum Wi-Fi coverage. Number 3, if you want the easiest solution to set up, I mean it when I say easiest because it's even easier than mesh Wi-Fi. But the best thing is, if you want to do additional configuration for advanced settings, it also has those features while mesh Wi-Fi doesn't. So basically, download the Reyee mobile app and follow the on-screen instructions to add the router. It will prompt you for your Wi-Fi SSID and password you want, then after that, it's really done. For mesh Wi-Fi, I need to add the nodes one by one, and sometimes the process is not very smooth. I did this over and over many times when I'm doing testing for my mesh Wi-Fi videos, so trust me. For Reyee, you literally don't have to do anything and all the Wi-Fi AP is being detected and added in automatically for you. Within the main page, you can see the overall topology. Under clients will show you a breakdown of the different devices and how are they connected. Going into the router, you have a lot of useful information here. This eWeb will bring you to the web client for even more advanced configuration. Scrolling down to the port section, it shows you the total PoE power consumption. The speed here to the AP is 2.5G, consuming about 5.5 watts. Then this port in orange is actually a PoE doorbell, that's why the speed is only 100 meg. Same thing for the AP, you are able to go into each of them to check the status, logs. Config will allow you to change the Wi-Fi channel. If you want to configure VLANs, they have it here as well. If you're not an advanced user, then most of the stuff here, you don't have to know what they are. We are now in the age of AI, so simply just go to AI Wi-Fi optimization and let the AI settle everything for you. So in a way, it's easy to set up for normal users. For advanced users, you will also appreciate all the advanced settings you see here and over at the web client. Alright, here's my overall recommendation. To me, I think this setup makes a lot of sense if you're looking at having just a PoE video doorbell in terms of your camera surveillance setup. This router has a total of 4 PoE ports. Typically, you're going to use up 3 of them for the wall AP. Just nice, the last one can be used for the PoE doorbell. In terms of ISP speed, if you have a 3 or 5 Gbps plan, then just simply connect to the RJ45 WAN port. But if you have a 10 Gbps plan, then I would suggest you to get a SFE Plus to RJ45 module, put it over at this port so that at least your WAN speed matches with what you have subscribed for. One last very good use case is if you have a number of wired devices to connect. The latest unified wall AP like the Pro Wall and Pro XG Wall all don't even have a single output port anymore. With this Reyee AP, imagine it's an AP combined with a basic 5-port switch like this, with an additional PoE port. Don't underestimate this PoE port because it opens up some interesting options. For instance, if you want to put in some smart shades in the room but you didn't cater for any power sockets, then you can go with a PoE shade, such as the ones from Smart Wings, and have it receive power from the wall AP. Or if you have a smart home running on Home Assistant, you can then use this to power your SM Lite or Sonos PoE dongle. Look for a much better placement to maximize your Zigbee or Thread signal. You even have PoE presence sensors today. This is from Everything Smart Home, and you can use the PoE port to power it. Now, let me bring you to take a look at an actual deployment of this AP setup. This is a newly TOP 2-bedroom condo. This means there are multiple of such data points already installed, same as a HDB BTO. Usually there are 2 in the living room and just 1 in every other room. So I have 1 wall AP installed at the TV console area right behind the TV console. The reason is because I can take advantage of the ports on the AP. We have the StarHub TV box here, PlayStation 5. I also placed the Philips Hue bridge here. In your case, it can be any smart home hub or even a PoE dongle for Home Assistant. Another AP I have it in the bedroom. Here, I don't have any wired devices to connect to. You have the very clean look where it blends nicely with the power sockets. You don't see any cables connecting to a mesh node. Very nice, and of course with the AP here, you will get good Wi-Fi connection, scrolling through your favorite social media apps laying on the bed. Let's go and take a look at how the connection runs inside the DB. From your fiber open net, then it goes to your ISP modem. From there, we'll then go to our Reyee router, come PoE switch. From there, it goes to all the data points powering the wall AP. One of these ports is powering a PoE doorbell, so no need to buy any additional PoE adapter. This whole setup is having just 1 device inside the DB, very simple. For this unit, owner has a 10G ISP connection, so that's why I installed a ISP Plus module separately to get the maximum 10G WAN connection. If you want to put in a mixture of ceiling AP and wall AP, you can also do that. Ruijie also has different models, different specs for this ceiling AP depending on the requirements. As for now, this solution is what I would recommend for a cheaper wall AP network setup, especially if Wi-Fi is over your budget. Ruijie's products are not going to be sold off the shelves from retail stores, so if you are interested, you can either reach out to me, or if you already have a networking or smart home provider, you can also check it out from them. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.